Finding Yourself in Greece, an IST Digital Story by Bettina Trejo. When you're 20 years old, there can be a lot of things you're trying to figure out about yourself. Being a student in college, you can question where you're supposed to go from there and who you are as a person. The interesting part of being in college is that it is a tunnel for hope. The hope of graduating and finding a great first job, the hope of meeting your future husband or wife, or the hope of traveling the world someday, all full of hope. Well, for Celeste, the hope was discovering what she wanted to do after college. So she got involved on campus in a variety of organizations to find her passion. One day in the middle of her junior year, she was walking through campus with her roommate/best friend Gabby and came upon a flyer advertising a study abroad experience to Greece for that summer. Celeste, seeing this as a sign from the universe to go outside her norm, looked over to Gabby saying, "Feel like going to Greece in the summer?" Gabby immediately said yes, and next thing they knew, they were at the orientation meeting to talk about the study abroad trip. It's important to note that Gabby and Celeste had never been to Greece before, let alone outside of the U.S. As Celeste sat there, she was overwhelmed with worry about being so far from home for a month in a different country. But she knew that the best way to explore might as well be with your best friend while earning college credit. Both girls were in the College of Agriculture and were studying agricultural leadership and development. Now, on the contrary, they were not interested in pursuing a career in ag, and both grew up in the city. But studying the leadership styles of the Greek leaders and the history of it all seemed interesting enough. The day to take off for their trip quickly came, and they were soon on a 13-hour flight to Thessaloniki, Greece. The group consisted of 10 girls and 1 boy. The group eventually landed in a small airport in a small city a couple hours outside of Athens. "Yazoo, welcome students," called out a man as they approached the front gates with their bags. The 2 student advisors joining the students on the trip hugged the little old man and explained that he would be our guide at the school and for any excursions during our trip. They all got on board the bus with their luggage and traveled the hour-long trip with no AC to where they were staying. Immediately, Celeste could feel that they were not in Texas anymore. As she looked out the window, she could see signs in Greek, the water glistening in the back of the city, the historic architecture, and the beauty that lied within the community. Hours later, they arrived to the American Farm School. The school was beautiful, and the campus consisted of dorms, class auditoriums, cafeterias, a vineyard, a chapel, a dairy farm, gardens, and livestock. Celeste and Gabby had never stayed on a farm in their lives and didn't quite know what to expect. After all, they were studying leadership, not cows. The group got settled into their dorms and were in awe of the balcony's backed view into the vineyard. Meals that were served on campus were all fresh from the farm. However, for their first meal, they all loaded back into the bus and went to the city to have dinner. The meals in Greece consisted of wine, Greek salad, tzatziki sauce, sides, and a fish or meat. Celeste and Gabby would soon find out that every single meal in a cafe or restaurant would result in this type of menu, and they loved it. The trip for the girls was fascinating. They spent more time outside of the classroom than in it. On the farm, they learned how to make a traditional Greek bread from scratch, learned about dairy farms, natural pesticides for the vineyard, and the Greek culture from the other students at the school. A lot of the students were from all over Greece, and almost all came on scholarships in hopes of one day helping their families or going to America. "It's interesting that we come here and the majority of our students that are here want to go to America," Celeste said to Gabby. "Just shows how thankful we should be to live where we live," replied Gabby. Outside of campus, they went to historic museums, traveled to breathtaking beaches, experienced the nightlife of the city, took in the vibrant and welcoming culture of the people, toured small villages, went on a boat cruise, visited the Parthenon dedicated to the goddess of Athena, and climbed portions of Mount Olympus. The history of Greece was everywhere you walked. Ruins of old frameworks that resembled meetings of leadership in the middle of the city. One day, as a group of students Celeste and Gabby had grown close with were walking through the plaza in the shopping market. Drums and people yelling could be heard. A group of protesters turned the corner. It's important to note that while the girls were in Greece, the economy was taking a turn for the worse. It was 2014, and the currency of Greece was taking a terrible hit. Banks were shutting down. People were pulling their money. The Americans on the trip were advised only to use the ATM machines on the private campus and to go ahead and pull money out ahead of time. Celeste was aware of what was going on in the government, but no one said anything about mass groups of protesters. All of a sudden, there were screams and smoke. "Let's get out of here!" one of the girls in their group yelled. Chaos broke out. People started running, and Celeste got split up from Gabby and the group. She ran desperately holding the now meaningless items she had just bought from the market. She took 2 quick left turns down the street and ended up with the group again. "Are you okay?" yelled Gabby. "Yeah, I'm fine," said Celeste, trying to calm the adrenaline in her body back down. She was only separated from the group for a few minutes, but it felt as if it had taken forever to find them. All students were declared to come to the private school campus immediately and to attend a meeting. With only a week left in their semester, they were told that the president of the university back home ordered all students to come back now in fear of student safety under the watch of the university. They all went back and slowly started packing their bags for their flight in 48 hours. "I can't believe that this is happening to this country," stated Celeste to Gabby. "I know, but just be glad that you didn't get hurt in that mess," replied Gabby. "Yeah, but think about the people here. The students that are our age desperately trying to make sense of what is going on. The people had had enough of the government making the wrong choices for them. True leadership is taking chances, it's making a difference, and it's getting people to take a stand," exclaimed Celeste. "Well, looks like you just got more out of this than any course you've taken all year," stated Gabby. As Celeste sat against the airplane window and looked out into the ocean to go back home, she couldn't stop thinking of everything that happened on the trip. All the beauty in the country and in the people, and it was a shame for all this to be happening. She then had a take of realization and decided she wanted to know more. She wanted to know why these things were happening. A year later, Celeste graduated with a degree in agricultural leadership and development and changed her emphasis to creative studies to international affairs. She has since gotten involved in helping refugees from all over the world that come to her local city. If it were not for the study abroad trip, Celeste would have never discovered her passion. She owes everything to that spur of the moment trip in the summer.